If you've had a heart attack or you've been told your heart health needs improving, one of the biggest questions you'll have is this: what should I actually be eating? Because you'll hear a lot of advice. Cut fat, avoid certain foods, eat this, don't eat that. And it quickly becomes confusing. You start second guessing everything that you eat, and it becomes stressful rather than helpful. And that's usually where people either overcomplicate it completely or don't change anything at all. Now, if we've not met before, my name's John from My Vitality Coach, and I work with people after heart problems to help them rebuild their confidence safely, including what to eat without feeling restricted or overwhelmed. And in this video, I'm going to give you a simple structure that you can follow so you know exactly what to do in real life. Let's start with this. Most people think they need a perfect diet, and this is where they go wrong. They try to change everything at once. They'll cut out all bad foods, try to be strict every day, and eat completely differently overnight. And it works for a short time, but it's not realistic. So eventually, life gets in the way and they slip off track, and it feels like they've failed. So what happens is they'll go back to their old habits. So here's the truth. Your heart doesn't need perfection, it needs consistency, and it needs better choices repeated over time. So instead of asking, what's the perfect diet? I want you to think of it in terms of a simple structure. 3 simple rules. Rule 1, base your meals around real whole foods. So this means foods that look like food. So things like chicken, fish, eggs, vegetables, fruit, potatoes, rice and oats. Not heavily processed, not full of added ingredients, and not something that comes out of a packet with a long list of things that you don't actually recognise. Now, this doesn't mean you can never have convenience foods, but it does mean they shouldn't make up most of your diet. Here's what this looks like for you. Instead of having a ready meal most nights, you might cook something simple like chicken, vegetables and potatoes, or salmon with rice and greens, or even something quick like egg on toast with fruit on the side. So nothing fancy, but it's real food. And over time, that has a big impact on your heart health. Rule number 2, reduce ultra processed foods. This is where a lot of people struggle because these foods are convenient, easy, and they're everywhere. So we're talking about things like takeaways, processed snacks, crisps, sugary foods, and ready meals. So here's where a lot of people get it wrong. They either eat these foods all the time or they try to cut them out completely, and neither approach works long term. The better approach is somewhere in the middle. So for example, instead of having a takeaway 3 or 4 times a week, you reduce it to once. Instead of snacking consistently on processed foods, you swap some of those for fruit, yogurts or nuts. So not perfect, but just better. And those small changes add up over time. Rule number 3, keep your portions realistic. So this is often overlooked because people focus so much on what they're eating, they forget how much they're eating. Even healthy food in very large amounts can slow your progress. Now, I'm not saying you need to track everything, but you do need awareness. For example, you might notice you're eating large portions out of a habit, or snacking in the evening, or eating when you're not actually hungry. So what this looks like for you is eating a bit more slowly. Pay attention to when you feel full, and stop when you're actually satisfied, not overly full. Again, a small change, but over time it makes a big difference. Now let me add something important here. A lot of people think they need a strict diet plan, something very structured, where every meal is perfect. But here's the problem with that. It doesn't reflect real life. You've got work, family, stress, and days where things don't go to plan. So instead of asking, what's the perfect diet? Ask this instead. What can I stick to consistently, even on a busy or stressful day? Because that's what actually matters. For example, if you've had a long day, you might not cook a full meal. But instead of ordering a takeaway, you could have something simple like eggs on toast, a quick omelette, or a basic sandwich with protein. Not perfect, but better, and that's what keeps you on track. Now let's make this really practical, because most people don't struggle with information, they struggle with applying it. So here's what a simple day could look like. Breakfast might be porridge with fruit, or eggs on toast with some fruit on the side. Lunch might be a chicken salad, or a sandwich with lean protein and some vegetables. Dinner might be fish or chicken with vegetables and some form of carbohydrates like potatoes or rice. And snacks, if needed, could be things like fruit, yogurt, or a handful of nuts. And that's it. Nothing extreme, nothing complicated, but most importantly, it's repeatable. Now let's zoom out slightly, because this isn't about one perfect day. This is about your overall pattern across the week. You might have 3 or 4 days where your meals are well structured, then a couple of days where things are more flexible. So maybe you eat out, maybe you have something less ideal, and that's fine because your overall pattern is still solid. This is something a lot of people misunderstand. They think one bad meal undoes everything, but your heart health doesn't work like that. It responds to patterns over time. So it's not about one meal, it's about what you do most of the time. Now here's something else that I want to clear up. A lot of people think they need to cut out fat completely, but that's not the goal. Your body still needs healthy fats. So things like olive oil, nuts, seeds and oily fish. The focus is on reducing unhealthy processed foods, not removing everything. Now if you're finding this helpful, just hit subscribe. I share this kind of guidance every week to help you improve your health safely. But before we finish, I want to leave you with this. You don't need to get this perfect. You don't need to overhaul everything overnight. In fact, trying to do too much too soon is actually what causes people to fail. Start with 1 or 2 changes, make them stick, and then build from there, because that's how you create lasting change. If you'd like a simple step-by-step plan that includes nutrition, exercise and lifestyle habits, you can download my free Heart Healthy Vitality Reset Guide below. And if you want help applying this to your situation, you can also book a call with myself. But for now, keep it simple, make better choices, stay consistent. That's what your heart responds to over the long term.